Welcome to the news. We begin with diplomatic matters because the ambassadors of Malaysia and the Arab Republic of Egypt to the Gambia have presented their credentials to the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, at a ceremony at State House in Banjul. After their audience with the President, the two diplomats pledged to strengthen their existing bilateral relations between their respective countries and the Republic of the Gambia. Our Presidential Affairs correspondent, Mohamed Jallo, reports.
The ambassador-designate of Malaysia, Her Excellency Sahazelina Zainul Abidin, was received with full honors after she arrived at the State House. She was later escorted to chambers, where she presented her letters of credence to the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, formally marking the beginning of her tenure as Ambassador of Malaysia. Speaking to reporters after the ceremony, Ambassador Abidin pledged to strengthen the existing relations between the two countries, especially in the areas of education and capacity building.
We have been looking at the Gambia in terms of trying to enhance our relations with the Gambia. We were hoping to be able to do that even since 2019. Unfortunately, circumstances did not permit, you see, us with the pandemic and everything. But hopefully 2021 will be better, and we hope to get off to a very good footing. And the President has assured us that we will be able to move forward, hopefully once the pandemic, or we live with the pandemic. The areas of cooperation that we are looking at, specifically between Malaysia and the Gambia, are in terms of education. Not only in terms of higher education for university students, but also in the training of civil servants. I think for Malaysia, we have an edge there. We want to share that expertise. We have been involved in the Gambia since the 1980s, training nearly 200 professionals in various areas, and we hope to continue this. We hope to up the game a bit and provide more training. I've already informed the Minister of Foreign Affairs about the scholarships that we are providing to the Gambia, and we are renewing that again for this coming year.
The ambassador-designate of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Her Excellency Noha Ahmed Maher Kadir, also arrived at the State House. She inspected a quarter guard mounted by elements of the State Guard Battalion. After the ceremony, the ambassador-designate presented her letters to President Barrow. She spoke of the excellent bilateral relationship between the Arab Republic of Egypt and the Gambia, which spans decades, and pledged to consolidate them whilst also exploring new areas of cooperation.
The relations between Egypt and the Gambia are very, very old and very strong, and they will always be. We only do is enhancing and finding new ways of cooperation, new areas. Egypt is here for the Gambia. Whenever we have an expertise, we are always happy to share it. And all what we do is to be here and to help Gambia in its process of development. We are working closely to find these areas. Certain things are very important, like the renewable energy and the energy in generally speaking. But we are working together to see what the Gambia needs and what we can do for that, and then we work together on achieving that.
The two ambassadors are based in Dakar, Republic of Senegal, accredited to several other countries in West Africa. Mohamed Jallo, GRTS News.
The Gambia Civil Aviation Authority has for the second time been deferred by the Public Enterprise Committee of the National Assembly. The Aviation Authority failed to complete their audited accounts, which they say is still pending at the draft stage. Samuel Ba has more in this report.
We are at the National Assembly in Banjul, where the Public Enterprise Committee of the National Assembly is continuing its business of scrutinizing public institutions. And today it is the turn of the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. Of course, you would recall that yesterday, Monday, They appeared before the Public Enterprise Committee but were deferred because they did not come along with the external auditors of the institution. Today here they are again with the external auditors. They have come intact, but this is what the finance department of the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority has to say.
Mr. Kia, the position we are at is the debtors were secularized, and they were listened to by the auditors, and then what is happening is they have to respond directly to the auditors. Civil aviation is international in nature. Therefore, some of our debtors are outside the country, and our creditors too. So when they are secularized, we have to wait for the response. Without that, I think it might be a bit difficult. But at the moment, we are trying to, inform them as to the importance of these responses so that we can finalize the accounts. We are already working on the management letter.
He has just explained that they won't be able to present because their accounts are still incomplete. But let's also turn to the external auditors of the institution to hear their own version.
The alternative is to complete the work on the basis of the information and explanation we have at a definite point in time, which under the present circumstances will result in a qualification of the audit opinion. I'm sure this is something nobody wants to occur. But whilst on that, there are some of the issues which I think is a question of taking a decision on. For example, Thomas Cook owes the authority 44 million. Thomas Cook is dead, perhaps not buried. That has to be fully provided for. It doesn't take much. It only takes a decision, and that's not a write-off. It's just to provide for a possible impairment of that asset based on the information that we have.
Well, as it is, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority are not fully prepared to present their reports, but instead they are appealing to the Public Accounts Committee for more time to regulate their house. This is what the board chair had to say.
We are going to stress on the management to see that by the end of February, you are looking at 24th. I am looking at maybe 1st of March. So, by then we should be able to. That's almost a month. If you can have that, I think by then they will have to collect all the information they need and then hand it over to the auditors.
Proceedings at the National Assembly by the Public Enterprise Committee continues tomorrow, Wednesday at 11 a.m. Samuel Ba reporting for GRTS.
A seminar to adopt One Health concept in the prevention and control of zoonotic diseases is underway in Banjul. Louis Mendy reports on the conclave organized by the World Health Organization and the World Organization for Animal Health.
Research has proven that about 75% of emerging infectious diseases of human have animal origin. The dire need to control the spread of these diseases and others is the reason for the National Bridging Workshop, championed by the World Health Organization and the World Organization for Animal Health. The objective of the seminar is to provide an opportunity to human and animal health services to review current collaboration gaps in key technical areas and to develop a joint roadmap of corrective measures and strategic investments to improve the work at the animal-human interface in the prevention, detection, and control of zoonotic diseases. Desta Tirune is the WHO country rep.
This is one of the very few, workshops that have been conducted in the African region, and we are among the first ones to benefit from this. And this is very good. We are among the pioneers. So I hope we'll take this opportunity also to show that we can even do better.
The belief here is that adopting One Health concept is the most effective way of controlling zoonotic diseases. Agric Minister Ami Fabure said our office is behind the move.
It is worrying to note the following. About 60% of existing human infectious diseases are zoonotic. That is, they can be transmitted from animal to human and vice versa. 5 new human diseases appears every year. 3 are of animal origins. About 80% of disease agents with potentially by terrorists used as zoonotic pathogens.
Participants in the 3-day seminar are personnel of the veterinary services, the Ministry of Health, Food Safety, Red Cross, plus all we stake in animal and human health.
Some of these diseases of animals' origin that can be transmitted to humans, such as rabies and avian influenza, pose worldwide risks to public health. Other diseases which are mainly transmitted from person to person also circulate in animal or have an animal reservoir and can cause serious health emergencies. We expect these risks to increase with the current trend of human behavior changes.
For Dr. Ahmed Lamin Samate, the Minister of Health, the One Health concept is a brilliant idea, but much more can be done to promote animal and human health.
Yes, we want to bridge the gaps, but if you bridge various institutions, various agencies that themselves are not capacitized, they'll not be able to produce or they'll not be able to share much. So we should identify the gaps, inter-organizational gaps. We provide resources for them. We build capacity, give them the tools. Though we are also aware that many of these institutions do not have the required tools, and I think it's high time we accord them the recognition that they deserve so that they'll be able to function adequately.
And as the WHO and stakeholders strive for One Health concept in the prevention and control of animal and human diseases, Dr. Abdul Sise, the Director of Veterinary Services, had this to say on the expectation of the workshop.
At the end of the workshop, you will, 1, better understand the IHR 2005 and the role of WHO, the mandate of the OIE, the International Health Regulation Monitoring and Evaluation Framework, IHRMF, under the OIE PVS pathway, their differences and their connections. Understand the contribution of the veterinary services in the implementation of the IHR 2005 and how the results of the PVS pathway under the IHRMF can be used to explore strategic planning and the capacity building.
The National Bridging Workshop is expected to last for 3 days. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
The ambassador of the People's Republic of China to the Gambia, His Excellency Ma Jianchun, on Tuesday delivered the Chinese Lunar New Year message at the Chinese Embassy in Bijilo. The Chinese New Year, also known as Spring Festival, is usually named after an ox, which signifies strength, diligence, and work and resilience against difficulties. For more on this occasion, here's an excerpt.
Next week, Chinese people and their local friends around the world will celebrate the Chinese Lunar New Year. It is also known as Spring Festival. According to Chinese zodiac tradition, which assigns an animal for each year, the year 2021 is a year of ox. In Chinese culture, the zodiac ox signifies diligence and work, resilience against difficulties, and great strength amid challenges. I would like to take this opportunity to wish all my compatriots and our Gambia friends health, happiness, success, and prosperity in the year of ox. In China, Spring Festival is a time for families to gather, for neighbors to visit each other, and for friends to spend time together. As the COVID-19 pandemic still reaches the world, this year, some celebration activities will be either scaled down or moved online. However, social distancing doesn't necessarily mean sentiment distancing. COVID-19 cannot stop people from finding creative ways, such as the internet, to stay connected with each other.
The University of the Gambia Students' Week 2021 is underway in Tendaba in the Lower River region. The annual convergence is organized by the University Students' Union. Details in this report by our Lower River region correspondent, Alajimbai.
Held on the theme, Role of University Education in the Promotion of Democracy, Peace and Security, the week-long convergence is attended by hundreds of students from different faculties, thus giving them the platform to discuss key national issues with the fundamental objective of generating different perspectives for students in their respective fields of study. The event, according to the chairperson of the Students' Week 2021 Organizing Committee, Fatoumata Sise, also encourages cultural diversity and promotes peace and security through intellectual dialogue as people from diverse fields of studies are invited to share their expertise with students to enable them contribute meaningfully to national development.
This year we also want to see a difference, and this difference is what made us to choose a theme that has to do with the role of university education in promoting democracy, peace and security. And in the coming days we will be inviting experts who will be coming here to discuss this. But alongside that, we'll also be embarking on community outreach programs. We'll be talking to members of the community here in Tendaba and also go beyond to sensitize people about what democracy is all about, what maintenance of peace in a country is all about, but what upholding the security status of a country is concerned. But we would have been briefed by the experts, and we go out with the knowledge to impart it on the people out there.
The Vice Chancellor, University of the Gambia, Professor Mohamed Fakir Anjum, said the university and government will continue to create the conducive environment for quality teaching, learning, and research to enable students achieve academic excellence.
The University of the Gambia, in collaboration with the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology and other stakeholders, analyzed and prepared for COVID through careful planning. As such, learning continues at the university by innovative means. This has allowed our students not to have an interruption in their university studies.
The main objective of the Students' Week is to encourage practical learning and interaction. This, according to the president of the UTG Students' Union, Usman Jassi, will be echoed and promoted throughout the event.
We are the constituent elements of our society. Anything that has a direct relationship, indirect bearing and relationship with the promotion of peace, security and stability resides in our hand. The greatest tool that we can use to cause instability, to promote insecurity in this nation and any other part of the world is the use of the knowledge in its negative effect. We want to demonstrate to the world, as students, we will use our knowledge to a positive effect rather than to a negative effect, and that is why we are saying promotion of peace and security and democracy.
The chairman of Mansakonko Area Council, Landing B. Sane, spoke of the importance of the role of students in democracy, peace, and national development. The director of Students' Affairs at UTG, Madam Habibatu Drame, and other student leaders thank partners for the support and assured students of interactive activities with experts of different backgrounds, as well as improve students' welfare at UTG. Alajimbai, GRTS News.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dauda Jallow, and the Chief Justice, Hassan Jallow, has today presided over the 9th call to the bar ceremony held in Bigelow. 82 homegrown solicitors and baristas of the courts, including 31 Ghanaians, have succeeded to have undergone a successful academic and vocational training at the Gambia Law School. As Usman Mani reports, the class of 2019-2020 graduates are expected to administer justice in the years ahead.
The legal year 2021 begins on a good note as 82 new lawyers are called to the bar following successful trainings at the Gambia Law School. 31 new baristas of the graduating class are Ghanaians who had completed their studies online in Ghana at a time COVID-19 struck the country. Witnessing the ceremony through virtual platform, new baristas also received the blessings of the General Legal Council. In his welcome statement, the chairperson of the General Legal Council, who doubles as the Chief Justice Asan B. Jallo, commended the new solicitors for their tireless efforts during their course of studies and further advised them to serve as officers of the courts.
You have succeeded in undertaking the academic and the vocational part, and what remains now is just a short stint of pupillage before being considered being evaluated for enrollment. Enrollment, of course, is not automatic. You will need to be evaluated even after your pupillage. And if you are found to be fit and proper persons for enrollment, you will then be enrolled. And I hope, of course, that all of you will fit that particular description. This is an important stage, as I said. Perhaps within a year, you probably will be enrolled as legal practitioners. But even at this stage, it's important for you to remember that you are poised to join an honorable and a noble profession.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dauda A. Jallo, noted the significant investment by the government of the Gambia in producing the homegrown lawyers. He advised the graduating class, as they are now called to the bar, to be guided by the code of conduct as dictated by the profession.
I will not be doing justice without commending the government for putting the proper infrastructure and facilities in place, thereby investing heavily towards producing young, trained legal professionals, both from the Gambia and within the sub-region. This is not only a significant achievement for the country domestically, but also paved the way in impacting lives of people outside the Gambia. The legal profession is a learned and noble one. However, it is a distinguished office which calls for one to act professionally with dignity, high sense of morality, humility, and respect towards others.
The chief guest of the event, a doyen of the legal profession and senior member of the bar, Surahata B.S. Jane, in his wisdom, advised the new officers of the courts to exercise respect, honesty, and commitment to service.
The fundamental goal is the cultivation and constant maintenance of honor and integrity in all activities. The legal practitioner is a member of an ancient profession which is universally recognized as indispensable in a modern state which calls for the rule of law and human and people's rights. You must be reminded that in this profession, you must strive to be ethical and in particular, avoid foul use of money not belonging to you. Recently, the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council has commendably been more active in bringing aberrant lawyers to book. You may be aware that some of your colleagues suffered from punishment, including disbarment, for serious financial and other malpractices.
The Director General of the Gambia Law School, Rugi Tomasi, and the most outstanding student, Eram Gabla Gale, thanked the staff and lecturers of the law school, as well as the government of the Gambia, for achieving this milestone to contribute to justice administration of the Gambia. Certificates and prizes of excellence were also awarded to outstanding students of the class of 2019-2020. Usman Mane, GRTS.
The National Water and Electricity Company Limited, NAWEC, and the Gambia Bureau of Statistics, GBOS, has today convened a forum to discuss its 6-month-long data collection exercise. The new scheme, dubbed BOCA, is a component of the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, funded by the World Bank. Fatu Diba picks up the rest of that story.
The National Water and Electricity Company Limited, NAWEC, and the Gambia Bureau of Statistics will start a 6-month data collection project across the country. The project, BOCA Information Management System, is a component of the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, funded by the World Bank. The IMS project will grant NAWEC and GBOS officials first-hand information that will improve the supply of services and operations.
We'll be collecting GIS coordinates of all our assets. This includes our pole numbers, our substations, all our assets in the field. And this will gonna put in a system whereby anytime there is an incident or it's gonna help us in our incident management, anytime there is a fault in the system, you will easily see it in the system. You will trace it and know exactly where the problem is, and the team will be there on time to be able to solve this. This will save time, it will save costs, and it will also help us to reduce our downtime.
As Matar has indicated, the IDs, the field staff will provide with an ID card, and the ID card will bear the name of the respondent, as well as logos of NAWEC and GBOS. An introductory letter will be given to them laminated because of the period of the exercise will last for 6 months, with telephone numbers of personnel to be contacted. In case you need clarification of why this project, why these people are coming to your households, collecting data for electricity, water, as well as general questions about the services in the country.
To improve service delivery, the general public is urged for their cooperation.
I think it's important for the public to know the importance of this exercise. Without data, I don't think there could be any planning in any part of the world. And I think NAWEC requires this information to improve what they're doing, the service provisions for the general public, with electricity, water, as well as services generally provided in this country. So we're urging the public to really help in terms of giving access to the field staff, to their premises, to the NAWEC assets as said by Matar, be it the electricity meter or as well as the water meter.
This exercise, for me, is one of the most important components of the implementation of the IMS. Because the data that we are collecting, if it is not of quality, if it is not accurate, that means the objectives that we have set for ourselves to achieve in this project will not be achieved. And therefore, let me just put that emphasis, just like the GBOS Deputy Statistician General just said, that the cooperation of the public is key in this.
At the end of the 6 months exercise, the data gathered will help the operating system of the utility giant. Fatou Deba for GRTS News.
We'll be back with sports news right after this break with the latest on the Young Scorpions preparations for the African Under-20 tournament.
boo bëggee nekk fashion designer bu xarañ ak am xam-xam ci wàllum yëre ak takaay bu boobaa demal seeti waa SNS Institute of Creative Design ngir mun a dëgëral élégé fashion designers yi ñu mun a defar design yu dul jeex sketch ak njaay lépp lu jëm ci wàllum sañse ak takaay. boo fa jàngee ba noppi mun nga am liggéey bàyyeekoo ci yeneen bunti liggéeykaay yi soxla fashion designers mbaa nga door sa businessu boppa te lii yépp kayiti jàng biñ la jox moo la ko jural. yamut foofu waaye bunti jàngalukaay yi dinañ la xelal ci anam yi nga mënee ut liggéey mbaa ni ngay waajale lii di am interview. mbaa bokkoo ci nit ñi yaakaar ne bu du jaare yooni gannaaw duñ fi mun a tekkee kon nag jaaral ci wakawel.info/Gambia ngir am ay xibaar yu wóor ci anam yi nga mun a jaar boo buggee tukki mbaa nga soxla jànga ut liggéey ak mbiri jula fii ci biir réew mi.
To sports now, and the AFCON Under-20 bound Young Scorpions of the Gambia are intensifying preparations ahead of their participation at this month's Continental Youth Championship in Mauritania. The team is expected to fly out of the country tonight for a training camp in Morocco before heading to the tournament. GRTS head of sports MS Jallo visited the training camp ground, and he tells us more about the preparations in this report.
From the center of the pitch, Coach Matarmbo gives instructions to his young Scorpions as he and his technical team intensifies training ahead of the CAF Under-20 football tournament. The team has been in camp at the National Technical Training Center, now called the Football Hotel, preparing for the upcoming AFCON Youth Championship, starting February 14th in Mauritania. This is the team's penultimate training session before flying to Morocco on Wednesday night for a week-long international training camp. during which Coach Matar Mbodj will test his boys against Cameroon and Burkina Faso in 2 friendlies. The Young Scorpions are fresh from winning the WAFU Zone 2 Under-20 trophy after beating Senegal in the final, which earned the Gambia qualification to the Continental Youth Championship. Matar has kept faith with the players who won the WAFU tournament, but equally making few additions. Among the new faces are Ethan Bojan from Doncaster Rovers and Momodu Talibe Jallo of MK Dons, both English League One sides. Highly rated West Ham United youth goalkeeper Sarin has also flown in from London to join the team, giving the coach additional depth. The under-20 boss is, however, sweating over the fitness of his captain James Gomez, who is a major doubt for the tournament after the defender was sidelined with a hamstring, which might keep him away for 3 weeks. Whilst there is uncertainty hanging over the availability of the Italian Serie A duo of Bologna's Musa Juara and AS Roma's winger Ibrahima Dabo, as their respective clubs are yet to release them. The Young Scorpions are in buoyant mood, coming on the back of a morale-boosting meeting with President Adama Barrow, who invited them to State House and presenting a check for $2 million to the team, being payment of bonuses to the players and officials for winning the WAFU tournament. This will be the Gambia's 3rd appearance at the AFCON Under-20 tournament, having previously participated in the 2007 and 2011 editions. And now, the 2021 edition in Mauritania awaits Matar Mbodj's Young Scorpions, which will start from 14 February to March 4th in the Mauritanian cities of Nouadhibou and Nouakchott. Amadeus Jallo, GRTS Sports.
Over now to the weather report from the Central Forecast Office.
Karandinkira Jamalle be Gambia Banko Kang minul buko S&S Institute of Creative Design and ya bundal soto façon designer yele minu nenema a londo karang warang ya certificate soto kasini sama façon designer lo parendi minul fana be denikol ning nyarandil fengol julayala façon designer lo minul karanta fo ijita isita doku soto no bundaluto minul sulata façon designer la andung ni la fita fanan ise fansum business sol kumasi amandanke karandi façon design na bari ibe kari ya marlale wokono inyanta doku nyini la nyame aning ni bitala interview dula kuri imantara kafuru mo kono mini ya mira ko ni manta bakwe ite kutute la no imunafang wakawel.info/gambia la dameng ibe kibar senong sotola inyanta sila koyrengol minul tala katama katabantala bankol kang warang ni sulata kakarang doku soto anin julaya Gambia Banko kang.
Hello, good evening viewers. Welcome to the weather forecast from the Central Forecast Office. I am Lamin Bijo. Past 24 hours was characterized by a partly cloudy and cool atmosphere during the morning. It later gave way to mostly cloudy, slightly hazy throughout the country. Tonight, fairly cool and slightly hazy atmosphere will prevail during the period, becoming cooler as the night progresses, particularly over the central and the inland country. For weather tomorrow, similar conditions are expected to prevail. Relatively cool and slightly hazy atmosphere will prevail during the morning, while warm and sunny during the afternoon. Surface wind flow will vary between northerly and northeasterly across the country, with speed ranging from 10 or 20 km per hour. The morning temperature is expected to be 19 degrees Celsius over Greater Banjul area and West Coast region, 17 degrees Celsius over North Bank and Lower River region, 16 degrees Celsius over Central and Upper River region respectively. As we move to the afternoon, temperatures will increase to 36 degrees Celsius over Greater Banjul area, rising to 37 degrees Celsius over West Coast, North Bank and Lower River region. 38 degrees Celsius will be recorded in Central and Upper River region respectively. We now shift our attention to the marine forecast. Low tides will be 0.3 meter at 8 a.m., 0.4 meter at 8 p.m. High tides will be 1.8 meter at 2 a.m., 1.5 meter at 2 p.m. Sea states will be moderate with significant wave height of 1 meter, northwesterly swells. Sun is expected to rise 26 minutes to the hour of 8 in the morning and will set at 5 minutes after the hour of 7 in the evening. Thanks for the pleasure of your company, and do have a pleasant night.
Well, that draws the curtains for this news bulletin, but here's a quick recap of our top stories. The ambassadors of Malaysia and the Arab Republic of Egypt to the Gambia have presented their credentials to the President, His Excellency Adam Barrow, at a ceremony at State House in Banjul. As the country continues to expand its foreign relations with the outside world. Go back and put your house in order and come back. The Public Enterprise Committee of the National Assembly ordered Civil Aviation Authority to return with its complete report. Away from the lecture halls and to a quiet and refreshing environment, University of the Gambia students are in Tendaba in the Lower River region to celebrate Students' Week. And in sports, the Gambia's under-20 men's football team, the Young Scorpions, are sharpening their tails to sting at the upcoming AFCON Youth Championship. Well, that was all we had in this bulletin. We'll be back at 2200 hours with more news. Stay tuned.